We'll start with a roll call for the Board of Police Commissioners this morning. Commissioner Nagy?
Yes.
Here?
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Trailer?
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Garrett?
Here?
And Commissioner Culp here. Do we have Marcia online this morning?
I think she wasn't going to be able to make it.
Okay, so with no further ado, we have no old business. And we will start with new business with.
We got to approve the meeting minutes.
We need to approve the meeting minutes from the April
19th
of 2021. Do we have any motions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion approved by Commissioner Garrett and a second by Commissioner Nagy. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, great. We have 4 approved and no opposed. So we will start with, get this on 2 different screens, sorry. Policy number 810, Gun Liaison Program. Would you like to come up, Chief?
Morning, everybody. It's really good to see everyone in person. We have a couple of things this morning that we'd like to present to you. There are some policy matters. I think all of you know we're going through a couple of different things right now. The CALIA process, the accreditation process, where we're seeking to attain that national recognition for the work of our police department. And at this point, there are just a handful of departments in the state that have this accreditation. I think there are well over 450 police departments, and they'll really be a significant accomplishment for us. As we go through that process, it requires some adjustment of certain policies. And Lieutenant Sterling, who leads our administrative area of the police department, will talk you through those. And also, concurrent with that, we're going through our recruitment process for the selection of new officers to fill the vacancies we have this year. And as we promised you in prior sessions, as we go through that process, we want to provide you with updates and information about the status and the progress of our work. So Drake, can you present these policies?
Good morning.
Good morning.
We do have 3 policies, which I believe were sent out for you to review. Those 3 being the Gun Liaison Program, which is something that we've had in place for, I believe, over a year now, which is headed up by Detective Sergeant Samuelson. And then also our body worn camera policy, which is mostly a carryover from old policy, just a couple CALIA updates, nothing really earth shattering different from that. And then we are going to adopt a mobile field force policy, which is essentially, as you probably read, kind of a riot team control team policy there. So I won't read them all to you, but if you have any questions, myself or Josh are available to answer anything.
Questions?
Is CALIA what's driving these effectively, like the new policy and the tweaks?
Especially the body worn one, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That one, there were a number of CALIA adjustments. I don't believe there were any in Gun Liaison. And there were none in mobile field force. So it's mostly body worn camera, which is also our in-car camera policy, all that. So something we already had on the books, just a couple small updates, retention wise, and some requirements and when we do and don't have to report and stuff like that. That's all governed by the accreditation.
The mobile field force, a lot of it seems to be around crowd control. And does the adoption of the policy then trickle down to change in training, or is it really just solidifying what really already exists?
We have not implemented the field force yet at all.
Okay.
This is kind of the first step, kind of put it in place and then start to acquire the gear and the training and the personnel to make that go live.
The mobile field force program is really somewhat driven by the national events last year. As you know, police departments throughout the country had a significant challenge with certain groups of protesters or demonstrators or just people expressing their concerns. And in some cases that got a little out of hand. That happened south of us a little bit as well. And through discussions with the Indianapolis Police Department and their chief, we have entered into an arrangement where if we were to have a situation in Zionsville which exceeded our ability to handle, which we absolutely hope doesn't ever happen, but if it did, they would be able to be a force multiplier and to, through mutual aid, bring officers up here very quickly to assist us. We in turn would do the same for them. What that means though, however, is we've got to be on the same page when it comes to training. So we're making arrangements to send our officers through that training with them, and the policies that we have adopted and presented you for approval coincide with the ones they have in Indianapolis, so that if our officers are called to assist or their officers come up here to assist, they are operating off the same sheet of instructions and policies. And there is a little bit of coordination that's necessary to make certain those things go well. And it's not just for civil disturbances. It also is for large events, crowds, gatherings, things like that. And it's a way to help coordinate our work so that we're efficient. And at the same time, should something occur which exceeds our ability to handle, we've got a ready force available to come in and work with us. That's in addition to the CLEA part of it. That's why we're doing this.
Okay, thank you.
Is there, this is more philosophical, I guess, in nature. If you think about crowd control, images from last summer and images from the 60s, they almost kind of look the same, right? You've got almost this militarization of confrontation. Is it smart to, I get from a training standpoint, is it smart though to adopt those similar policies with a bigger city without running the risk of making the police seem like a occupying force during a civil disturbance that just amplifies the crowd versus trying to calm it down?
I agree with you. And our hope is we never have to call for that sort of help. And like I said a minute ago, it's not just for, they don't just train for civil disturbances.
Mhm.
They train for large events and handling crowds. And while we don't have those kinds of crowd sizes within Zionsville, we do have some special events that the logistical training and planning would be helpful. This is largely, hopefully, something we will never ever have to use. But if it did happen, we'd have that assistance coming quickly. Carmel has done this for years.
Mhm.
They've trained with Indianapolis. Indianapolis has trained with them, and so they're in lockstep in terms of how they would operate if they needed help. And based on the success and the experiences that Carmel's had, it seemed like a logical thing to do, because in addition to bordering Indianapolis, we border Carmel. So that whole group of officers would have similar training and similar experiences relative to an event of that nature.
I think that's good. I mean, I think it makes sense. I would, and I think this force does always encourage, kind of current thinking on, what's the best way to interact with crowds and make sure. I mean, obviously, you want to keep people and property safe. As schools of thought keep evolving, making sure we're staying on top of that. So it just isn't, and I know we're not trying to get that right, but it just isn't purely show of force, like intimidation. I don't think that works in calming those down. Obviously, I want to keep officers trained and safe, public trained and public safe. But if we're able to talk down, folks that are getting upset versus just trying to use it with force, I think that's always appreciated.
Yeah, also, I think it's important, the course that we'll go through with the Indianapolis Police Department is a FEMA regulated course. So it's through the Center for Domestic Preparedness. So it's implemented at the national level. And so it's not just something that Indianapolis came up with. It's something that there's actually a framework built around. So it'll be good training.
Because it's federally driven. Are there federal dollars, grants available for that training? Or?
It's actually free. Yes.
All right. Even better.
Yeah.
I had one question on the gun liaison one. Can you just tell us what NIBIN is? Or how that works?
Yeah, Josh probably explained that a little bit better than I can.
Morning.
Good morning.
That's the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. So it's where like they enter the imprints on the shell casings and then they can compare them in that database for any links.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things in there said that the Indiana State does not collect DNA or fingerprints from shell casings, and I'm just wondering why.
Part of that's the lack of success. Like they've had to kind of triage and prioritize their efforts because, like for instance, DNA in some cases it's a 6-month backlog for us to get the results. So they're trying to kind of clear that line as best as they can. They've had really low success with that. There is a stipulation though that as an investigator or a prosecutor would discuss the case with them, they will make exceptions. They actually did in the case of some stuff we've actually worked in the past with IMPD and other agencies, and they did have some luck. They were very shocked to get it.
Yeah.
But so it is rare. It does happen, but if it's something where that's the only evidence we have and it's a serious enough crime, they will engage in that conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right.
Can we approve all these at once?
Yeah, that's gonna be my
Well,
next
if you
question.
could, I always, you absolutely can. I always prefer to do them one by one, just for the purpose of public transparency, because then the record will
Okay.
reflect that each one was individually adopted. Technically, the answer is yes, you could for efficiencies, but
Any motions?
Well, I'd like to approve them all, but I'll just make a motion to approve policy 810 gun liaison program.
Second.
Okay, we have a first to approve, Commissioner Garrett, and a second, Commissioner Nagy. So we'll take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we have 4 in favor and 0 opposed. I'd like to make a motion for policy number 422, the body worn camera recordings, to be approved.
Second.
A second by Commissioner Trailers. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so we have policy number 422 approved, 4-0. Policy number 809, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Trailer. So all in favor for policy number 809 to be approved?
Aye.
We have 4 ayes and no opposed for policy number 809. Our next set of business is a recruitment update.
Yeah, so as you may have seen, we have opened up a recruitment process. We opened applications on the 25th of May. They will close on July 11th. This is for our 2 current vacancies that we have due to officers retiring and leaving. And then any vacancies that come through the budgeting process in 2021 and any additions that we may make. So as I said, it'll close on July 11th. August 1st, we'll do the physical and written testing. We'll have interviews in August, then we'll go through the conditionals, the polygraph, backgrounds, chief's interview, psychological, medical evaluations, and we're hoping to kind of target a January 1 start date for 2022.
How many applied?
So far, we're at 32.
Oh,
Great, good, very good start for us. Typically we see a big influx right at near the deadline, so we're pretty happy with that so far.
Have you reviewed the applicants so far? In other words, are most of these individuals that are looking to start a career in law enforcement, or are some of these looking to come from other law enforcement agencies?
So I've not reviewed them,
Okay.
and part of that is purposeful so that we don't get to know them too well,
That's
because
fair.
I'll be kind of hands-on with them throughout the process from now until really January. So trying to keep everything kind of impartial and not biased at this point. So no, I've not reviewed any of them.
Okay.
But we will do that review there near the end around the physical written testing date. And hopefully have some very good results to bring back to you. But
Was there anything done differently in terms of getting the word out from recruitment, and sort of sub question of that, was there anything done differently or try to increase minority candidates as well as part of that?
Absolutely. So we obviously did everything that we've done in the past. We advertised all the same areas. We're trying to use social media a little bit more now than we ever have as well. We've also had some personal meetings with some community members who I think will be very beneficial to helping recruit diversity, minorities. And then also just a lot of reaching out, personal contacts. We've reached out to a lot of churches through the area, just trying to get, places, where the melting pot is, where we can get a little bit of everything. So, yeah, we're doing, quite a bit of outreach towards those areas, trying to improve that.
It's hard to hire right now, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to find candidates. And I think everyone knows that. So 32 is a great start.
it's a good start. Yep.
Okay.
That's really it.
Any other matters, commissioners? Any questions?
Nope.
I would make one recommendation. I would like to see on the July 19th kind of update on the license plate scanning. I think that'd be kind of neat to have how that's working. Have we had any big, good results from it? So that was my only request.
Yeah. Yeah, we have
Um,
had a number of successes with it. So
Cool.
we'll make
Yeah, I'd
sure we
like
have
to-
some tangible results for you the next time.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next regular Board of Police Commissioner meeting is scheduled for Monday, July 19th at 8 a.m. Prior or past the town council meeting right after. I would like to make that a motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a second by Commissioner Nagy. So all in favor,
Aye.
Aye.
all opposed. So we have a 4-0 to adjourn. This meeting is concluded. Thank you.
To the races.